It's a nice little town, just kind of a wide spot in the road. And like all the little towns, they used to be bigger, and they've dwindled, but we still have our school, we have the courthouse. It has a lot of history, just like all the little towns. At one time, there was 3 lumber yards, 2 or 3 dealerships. This shop was the Ford dealership.
His hands have become an extension of red-hot steel and orchestrated rhythm of hammers and heat. In paint rock, it's clear that Randy Kiser has the dirtiest and strongest hands in town.
You know, there's something about blacksmithing that's different than anything else. It's got to have something to do with the fire and actually creating something. And if you think about iron, it's so unmovable, so strong, but yet if you get it hot, it's almost like clay. So anything that you can do with clay, you can do with iron.
The walls of this old blacksmith shop are caked with coal smoke. And like a monument to hard work, an ancient anvil pock-marked from years of pounding presides over a creative process.
All right, come on over here and I'll show you what they end up as. It takes me several hours apiece to make the skillets.
Skillet?
Skillet?
Yes, and it's...
like a frying pan.
Like a frying pan, yes, exactly. The nicest thing about this is it's an old idea. It's not a new idea, and so it's tried and true, and it's been working for a long time. In fact, in restaurants, this is how they'll sear all their steaks and their fish and all that with, it's called carbon steel skillets. As a craftsman, you have an eye to the way things should look and the way that things should feel.
They call their creations three-nail ironware, beauty born of fire and steel. Every skillet is a heavy, solid testimony to a design and a process most of the world has moved beyond.
And we've sent them to Australia and Canada, all over the United States. And it's exciting for us as well.
Yeah, how does it make you feel to know your skillets are all over the world?
Oh, that's the best. That's the best. I tell you, never imagined it, and it's just something that you kind of look forward to, but you never see it coming. I don't know anybody in this area. In fact, I don't know anybody near around here that's doing anything like this. So it was intriguing to me to do something that nobody else around here was doing.
I don't see any Teflon or other non-stick stuff in there anywhere.
No, absolutely not. And what ends up happening is you'll season them in the oven. We have a how-to, and you end up putting oil on it, and as it heats up, it'll polymerize, and it creates a non-stick surface inside of it. So everybody needs a little iron in their diet.
Especially if you're going to make some real cornbread.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, the crust that comes out of these things is absolutely unbelievable.
Ooh, nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
How long have you been making the skillets?
I started making these about 2 years ago. In the very beginning, I was doing gates and fences and things like that. But I got tied in with an architect and a builder in San Angelo that were building some pretty big houses.
Why do I get the idea you did that to pay the bills?
Yeah, that was exactly why.
And this?
This is fun. This gets us out of the shop. Before I stayed in the shop, I was a workaholic. That's all I did was stay in the shop. This allows us to get out, go see people. We end up being able to make something available to people that
can't find in a grocery store or a department store.
That's right. And it's so very useful, something that people can use every day.
You're excited about these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. The first one I made, I took to the house and I was sold. The way it cooked, it sold me on it because it was so much nicer. And the fact that I get to make them and sell them to people and then they get to enjoy it like that, I like that. I enjoy that.
How long will these skillets last?
they'll last a long time.
Something you can pass down generation to
Absolutely,
generation?
Absolutely. And the best part about it is anything of quality, it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't know where they come from, but you have a sense of how much work it took to make something.
You had a little health scare recently.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, about 6 months ago, I had to have quadruple bypass surgery, which I knew to kind of watch for it because 17 or 18 years ago I had had cancer and went through chemo and then radiation, and I knew that that was an aspect of it because I had a tumor in my chest about the size of your fist. But you really don't consider those things because you feel normal. You think being tired is normal. You think those things, but it brings you a new appreciation for how short life is, and how important it is to enjoy those times that you have, that you can spend together. But even more than that is there is something beyond ourselves.
Amid the flames that never cease their upward stretch, Randy Kiser pulls raw steel from the red-hot coals, forging his vision not into some sort of artistic greatness, but into a simple tool to be used every day. Randy's skillets are laden with the hammer marks that remind us that it's the heat and hard work of craftsmen over the centuries that sometimes make the most impact on everyday life.
There's something primal, and I think that people are drawn to that. And there's something about that forge, that the smell of the coal and the way that it just envelops everything, it does kind of ground you in a way back to an earlier way of doing things. And I never imagined that it would turn out the way it has.